I think we are live. Yeah, we are live. Pasok na natin yung... Woo! Where are you? Where are you? Yeah, lagyan natin yung output. Don't waste your time on me. I'm already a voice inside my head.
Now, this is crazy. The math works out perfectly where now this 10 damage left over, Adrenabrain will send 30 damage there, and then you have 240 HP remaining, which coincidentally is enough for Blood Moon. However, Hedrick recognizes that he has no way to win this game despite being able to pull that off, and Christian, with that triple Monkey Dory play, walks away the winner of Game 2.
Astounding.
Astounding is correct.
The Professor Turo scenario to pick up the Monkey Dory back into the hand, replay it back down onto the bench, resetting its ability, and then Night Stretcher to find the dark energy. Absolutely unexpected, and it just put a crazy checkmate in play.
Yeah, with the energy switch, with the Turo, everything combined perfectly after an Iono as well, I think, was played. So pretty crazy to see. I think we are seeing how both of these players are so good. So let's take a look at what happened in this game too, because it felt like it was over out of the blue.
And we were talking so much about how these players will surprise you with plays that you didn't consider or lines you didn't consider. And it seemed like Andrew Hedrick was also caught off guard. But after this play, using the Phantom Dive, taking the knockout, setting up some damage, retaining that Duskull as well, Christian Labelis wisely went after it, because this is the big damage modifier that was allowing Andrew Hedrick to control the flow of the game and take knockouts as he pleases. And here's a replay, folks, of that beautiful Monkey Dory play. Adrenabrain, energy switch, Adrenabrain, sending all this damage right back over to take down Dracloak.
Yeah, I mean, triple Monkey Dory out of the blue is something that you can dream of, right? But the cards combine perfectly. That's part of why you play the energy switch, part of why you play the Professor Tour. We've seen energy switch combined with Monkey Dory quite a bit, right? Even in God of War decks, now we're seeing it in Zorg, which has always played the energy switch, but getting that triple Monkey Dory was so clutch. I completely wrecked any hope Andrew had of closing out that game. And now we have less than 10 minutes to see a winner for this game. I'm not sure we're going to be able to get past the threshold with so little time.
It really depends on how valuable these match points are to the players. This is a wide field. We're just kicking off phase 2. Some players might think, oh, well, you know, I can take a tie here. This is fine. I'm getting a lot of practice for this matchup, maybe preparing for top 8. And then other players might try to just go all in and say, I'm going to try to just be very aggressive, hope that my opponent bricks, or try to be ahead on prize cards, try to close it out before it is too late.
And I mean, both players have probably faced off multiple times. They seem very friendly towards each other. They might have some sort of like agreement on whether like, because a tie puts them both in a very awkward spot. If they're trying to get to the asymmetrical top card, it almost feels like a loss for both of them in a way.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we're going to see both players try to get past some sort of threshold as quickly as possible in order to try to determine a winner.
With Dragapult, Dust Noir, we know they can take tons of prizes all at once, and Zoroark can't kind of start the aggression off. It needs to kind of soak some damage, roll with the punches a little bit before it can start counter-striking. But it's just going to be a classic setup. Nest Ball, Artisan, Monkey Dory, has 2 Zura and the attach return and a pass. It's over to Andrew Hedrick. Starts with Dreepy in the active. No Badoo seeing just yet. And with Artisan, is going to grab that Duskull. I don't know if it's worth it for Andrew Hedrick to attach and retreat into a Badoo at this point, but he's going to find it anyway.
Now we're going to see the body. We have Hilda for a potential energy. We also had Ultra Ball for Latias, but with so little time left, you probably don't want to bench Latias and give that Dark Week two-prize liability to your opponent. Now, Christian, seeing that Hilda probably makes him very happy because he has triple Zoro in play, and he also is holding Zerno for triple Zoroark EX next turn, and he already has the Artisan to start the aggression. So I think we're going to be off the races here in a very different game from Christian this time around.
Also sees the Hilda doesn't pick up Neo Upper Energy, picks up a Psychic Energy as well. Normally that wouldn't be too big of a tell because you're going to discard it anyway, but then we know that Andrew Hedrick has it in the prize cards. Badoo comes into the active spot with the Jamming Tower, tries to start the item lock, and Christian Labella firing on all cylinders. Has Cyrano for the triple Zoroark EX. He's going to have 3 trades as well. A lot of card draw.
Now that loss of the Artisan, though, could make it difficult for Christian to get a... Never mind, there's the Artisan already. Okay, so both players just having the perfect turn 1. I guess Andrew's start was actually pretty bad. When you're having to use Hilda as your turn 1 supporter, when you want to use it later down the line to get your evolutions, to get your new upper, you know you're in a little bit of trouble. And this is definitely very good here for Christian. Already has the perfect setup, just found the energy as well to keep attacking.
Check out that because he
want to help Andrew. Knows that his start was pretty bad and discards the counter catcher for the last trade, knowing he's going to be very far ahead this game for the most part.
As you draw cards with trade, you see more cards to discard for your other trades, and there's a clean knockout, takes down the Badoo. This is our first time that Christian Labella started to become very aggressive. I don't know if that's just the adaptation or if it's the circumstances of the timer, but Badoo goes down, and Andrew Hedrick still at a very pitiable board with just 1 Dracloak evolving up and Duskull in the active.
And see, Ultra Ball probably gonna go find another tree.
Hindi po pwesto.
Try to slow this down. I think
so. Yeah, we are currently watching Day 2 the Pittsburgh.
Try and strand something in the active. Any of these Pokemon could work, and just try to ease off the pressure that Christian is already applying with that Zoroark and with that Ends Reshiram.
Yeah, I do like bringing perhaps the Reshiram to the active spot, just because if there is a a Zoroark there, perhaps it's just an attach and an energy switch to keep that attack going. But after the Ultra Ball resolves, he does indeed find Dreepy, as you predicted, Pablo, and then shuffles. It's going to be a cut from Christian Labella, and Vezendipity enters play. First, it's going to be Professor's Research, however, to discard. I think that was the final card in the hand. Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Draws up to 7, and then 3 more will flip the script. 10 cards to put something threatening together to hold back this onslaught now that Christian Labella is kind of unleashing this new aggressive side of the deck we haven't seen yet before in the set.
Very nice follow-up for Hedrick here. Christian discard the Iono, probably expecting his opponent to not have a great...
Okay, guys, so before we start...
10 brand new cards to work with.
Technically, we're already starting,
Still has the
but
Recon Directive available to him.
Before we start everything, I'm just sharing a little bit on what's happening. So this is the first stream with... and we are watching as scheduled. You stream with... QAT. For this stream, we're watching the new Day 2 the Pittsburgh regionals. We're trying to see if we can get tips and ideas on what we can do for Day 2, or well, for the GBS that are coming later on. Tapos, medyo masama na pakiramdam ko, inatake ako ng allergy. But, it is what it is. Right? So ngayon, tingnan natin kung let's see what's going to happen with the game. Pero at the moment kasi skirt, regionals, we're trying to see if we can get this. So I'm just sharing the stream lang sa ngayon with QAT. So yeah, habang naghihintay tayo, by the way, we are, what's the term? We are also paano muna ako mag-share tayo ng stream. This stream is powered by QAT, by the way. Yeah, you'll be seeing me also participating in the GBS that's going to happen sa this weekend. And I am also participating in PokeCon. So, tingnan na natin kung I'm actually calling out yung bluff ni ano. Not really bluff. Calling out the challenge ni Ice na try natin patakbuhin si Zacian EX in the upcoming PokeCon. And let's see if it's going to work. And I am hindi naman confident. More of I'm kinda happy with the build na nagawa ko. I'm going to share the build after I'm done, after PokeCon's done. But it's pretty much Zacian EX. I've tried how many builds? Zacian. I've tried 3 builds to try and see if gagana siya. And so far, patak mo naman. And yung pinaka-recent one, actually, meron pang 5th build, pero hindi ko alam kung ano kung okay siya. But also, at the same time, I am also doing, doing, what's the term? Lorcana as well. Pero, since walang official si Lorcana, or we can do like analysis of the Lorcana videos on YouTube. So maybe we could do that. But let's see. So right now, what we're doing is we're going through Pittsburgh day 1, day 2.
Well, for one extra card. Now the question is,
pero alam naman natin sinong panalo.
for both. So now you have to make a choice.
So now, the idea kasi is,
And if you do, then you have to pay an energy to retreat. And doesn't seem like we found either energy or counter catcher. Oh, we do have energy, but we don't have counter catcher, so there's not gonna be any way to slow down this org. We could potentially, or we could have not anymore, retreat into the Pheasant DPC to tank a hit perhaps, but it's not looking great for Android. It's gonna
I've been trying to make the Zoroark EX work. Pero parang masyado kasing reliant siya with the support Pokemon, and I don't feel I prefer that all my units are active with the Zoroark. Pero gusto ko lahat tumaatake. Parang ganun yung mentality ko when I actually play the game. Oops. Ah. So, inaayos ko pa yung stream, guys, ulit, as usual. So, but anyway, I am not feeling well. I am still feeling. Hey, Dre, what's up? Dre, may bumili na pala ng EV box. So, right now, Yeah, may bumili ng EV box. Nabenta ko na siya eh.
Please knock out this ghost because
So, pasensya na sa kaibigan mo.
I'm trying to protect my Drac logo over here so I can have an attacker. And I think that Christian Labelle is willing to accept these terms.
Yeah, seems like he's
Live nga pala ako sa sa Facebook, sa YouTube, pati sa sa Twitch. Pero right now, I'm not sure kung okay yung chat ng YouTube.
pretty good. I think the last piece I'd love to see is maybe 12
Yeah, sorry, medyo pasigot-sigot lang dahil natake ako ng allergy right now.
not a great idea.
Yeah,
Tingnan nga natin ng konti.
we know that Andrew Hedrick does not have rare candies.
There we go.
And welcome back to the Pittsburgh Regional Championship. Pittsburgh, of course, the Bridge City, and our players.
Yeah, you can hear Juancho Saldana, guys. Our very own Juancho Saldana. Our own champion, our own Philippines champion, casting nga pala. Eh, Maki.
All three trades already use Christian Labelle using
Tingnan
those
natin, forward natin.
turn.
So before everything else, I'd just like to say, yes, I am back streaming. We are doing more TCG stuff. We're also doing other games as well. But right now, I just want to share lang yung our sponsor, or my sponsor for today. It's more of our sponsor, QAT. They provide quality products like yung sleeves na ginagamit ko. I actually sa lahat bago ko na discover si QAT, wala akong makitang nagustuhan ko sleeves kasi like galing from Vanguard, sanay ako with basta yun. But I actually like yung matte and clear nila. And I've been using it a lot. I've been using it a lot. And hindi ko alam na akala ko kasi si QAT is a foreign brand. Turns out na local pala sila. Also, yung deck box, I'll be sharing na lang that today. Medyo pakiramdam. But yeah, I think right now we are moving towards the Pittsburgh Day 2. I've been sabay natin panoorin yung nangyayari dahil right now I wanna find out din kasi hindi ko na sumaybay no weekend.
Welcome back to the Pittsburgh Regional Championship.
But anyway,
Pittsburgh, of course, the
so the one you're hearing right now, si Primetime Wizard, Mr. Juancho Saldana. So shoutout natin sa sa yung page niya.
right now, my name is Juancho Saldan, and I'm joined
Yeah, Juancho Saldana.
with Kyle Silverhouse and Chip Ritchie. How are we feeling about Phase 2?
Yeah, Juancho Saldana.
Some really fun Pokemon yesterday out in the field.
Si Chip Ritchie, tsaka si Kazimiro. So,
Cool stories coming into today. We apologize.
at the moment, meron na akong planong deck na gamitin
11-0.
for the
San Francisco, California. It's a two-day battle for glory. Trainers kick off the weekend in Swiss rounds.
Phase 1.
Each match being a best-of-3 showdown. To advance to Phase 2, trainers need to rack up total match points to exceed the threshold for their division. In Phase 2, the pressure intensifies as the remaining trainers...
Actually, I like yung bagong system ngayon na may threshold na. Kaya lang, you have to make sure that you're playing against people na hindi ka gagaguhin at the end of the day.
With the same number of match points as 8th place, will advance into an asymmetrical top-cut single elimination bracket. Win, lose, and your journey ends. Only one trainer will rise above the rest to claim the title of regional champion. Who will etch their name into the history books this weekend? And who will punch their ticket to Worlds 2026 in San Francisco? Don't miss a minute of the action. Stay tuned all weekend long to watch the battles unfold live. To stay up to date on future Play Pokemon events, visit championships.pokemon.com.
And we are on the
Kasi may mga times kasi it turns out I've been told na sa best of 3 may mga gentleman's agreement. I've been reading this over at Twitter din as well. Some people na hindi nag-honor ng gentleman's agreement sa Worlds. So parang okay ka, biglang pagdating sa papel hindi nila nasa-sign.
represented by Austin. Fifty player, I mean, if you've made it this far
I wanna go through Swiss this round kasi may EV box. Tingnan natin kung ano yung tsura ng takbo ng deck niya.
A few Gardevoirs along the way. So one more time, why not?
The matchup is a little bit weird just because usually Gardevoir gets that late game disruption. You don't have your boots properly prepared, your ability to find a knockdown to get those final pieces you need to close out the game. That's where Flareon is going to come.
It's going to be a mix of
But the late game is when Gardevoir is going to shine and try to bring back the game if it ever falls behind at all. Recently, Gardevoir
So right now, yeah.
so this does throw off some of the math that this deck does like to rely on in taking these early knockouts as well.
Alam ko nagkaroon ng issue eh. Hindi ko sure kung si Austin ba to.
Almost like polar opposites, right? Guardy gets stronger as the game advances.
But let's see, let's see.
Eevee Box
Alam nyo guys, as a judge and also as a player, as a judge, stress na yan eh. Lalo na pag you're in the stream table. Dapat, lahat, all eyes are also on you. And hindi siya gano'n kadali. Itong naman yan, nakakatakot yan. You're on stream. You're not a player but you also feel the nervousness. Ano pag first time mo mag-stream table. And experience ko siya before. Normally pag may times na nakakatulog ako actually. But, hey, Boss JM, what's up? Oh, di ba? Ganito dapat yung price, ganito dapat yung stream natin pag pag sa MBL. No, no, Boss JM. Yeah. So right now, okay, si Austin and Bradley is going to have problems here. Okay, medyo critical for Bradley that he has yung one Gardevoir, one Kirlia. So that means he has at least one Gardevoir in the deck. Tapos meanwhile si Austin medyo safe dahil you have all the all the EVs and all the well, one EV. Tama ba? Tama ba yung price niya? So you have okay lang. Medyo safe pa naman si Austin. If you look at it. Medyo safe yung niya. One of the things kasi, one of the bigger problems kasi when it comes to to the EV box, for me, is yung decision making. If yung magiging lines mo if you get certain cards. Also, you tend to forget kasi kung ano yung mga energies. Medyo critical yung memorization mo. Dahil you need to remember the energies that each evolution needs to use. So, di mo alam eh. Teka lang, legit pang may aso sa likod ng judge? Is that an actual dog? Good start for the EV box with the Fan Rotom at the first active. It's an actual dog, nice. Pwede pala yun. Yeah, so right now advantage kay Austin since he has fan call. So what he needs to do is just get the EVs and the birds out, the Hutoots. Question right now is how many does he have in his hand? Tapusin na natin itong match na to, then I want to move on to to the later matches. However, sabihan ko lang kayo, we'll just pause the mga chain by 11 kasi nakaabang ako sa announcement ni Green Gate for GBL. Dahil gusto ko maglaro sa GBL. Dahil maglaro ako for GBL, guys. Nagbenta ako ng cards kay Green Gate to pay for my entrance sa GBL. Kaya gusto ko maglaro doon. Oh, nice. Secret box. The box that's became very expensive. Okay, Artisan, get another, yeah.
Set up the deck for the initial deck search, searching for the earthen vessels, prepping for the inspect, prepping the grab off of the artisan, all in one go.
Yeah.
And then is going to shuffle the
Ideal
deck.
start din yun kay, ano, sa Gardevoir kay Bradley.
Almost feels too good. I
Since
mean,
you need to have the,
talking
ano,
about not too many people other than Henry Chad
the
into it. That no
box
secret
at the
sauce.
start.
It's all over the place, and it is like the ace spec for Gardevoir and many other decks. We've seen it being tried in Golden Go decks as well instead of Energy Surge, which is crazy to think about.
And now that we're over to Austin Ellis' side, this is an
Bakit?
interesting conundrum. With
Ah, okay, that's why.
know that you're just going to get the hoot hoots, the knock. There's no threat of knockdown.
The Hoot Hoots, then you get the 3, ano, yeah, that's the good start.
So that means that there's a chance that Bradley can
So,
grab
magyayari yan, lalapag yung tatlong Hoot Hoot, yung EV rin di ba lapag.
in the hand. Typically, when it comes to these disruptive supporters, you don't want the
Oh.
early on playing these Flareon lists, these knockout lists. You need to keep all your resources in the hand, and that's more of a late game, just comeback potential. If you want
Ano na,
to buy yourself just a little bit more time,
recurrent of G.
to get that extra turn to evolve it into knockdown, play that Iono, maybe set your opponent down to 2 or 1 card.
Oh, may boosted evolution siya na, ano.
Leono can be the difference between winning or losing a game, and since we only have access to one copy, that's going to be very crucial. Adam now.
Okay, he got one. Does he have a Flareon in his hand? Okay. 0. Nice. 1, 2, 3. If he has the, ano, Terra Ball, Terra Orb, then he could switch out. Ah. Ha. Okay. Iyak na po tayo, mga kaibigan.
The fact that there was no Noctowl searched for probably indicates that there's already a Noctowl, or at the very least an Ultra Ball in the hand. Now, if it was an Ultra Ball and Austin is caught off guard by like a 20
Walang knockdown sa kamay, ibig sabihin nun, may yata baka.
be a problem. However,
It's going to be a problem for the Gardevoir player unless he...
the active spot will not be retreating this turn.
And that is a perfect outcome that Austin is willing to take, right? Even though you're putting damage on the Monkey Dory, the Adrenal range is going to put it right back on your side, lowering the chances of Frillish being able to take away your use of items is what Austin is trying to play around. A full spread of cards on the other side, right? With Wellspring Ogre Pond now in the active with an energy attach.
Frillish. Okay.
A torrential pump.
Fedori.
3 Hoot Hoots to back all this up, and 2 Eevees. Now, don't get too ahead of yourselves, folks, right? When you're looking at the Wellspring Mask Ogre Pond, you're looking over at Bradley's side of the board.
Oh, hindi pa natanggal yung ano. Hindi pa natanggal yung
You have to be careful because if
Evo.
you're using the energies back in the deck, maybe you aren't getting energies established.
Yeah, the Evo has not been removed. That should have been removed kanina pa.
Your best bet is maybe to try to take down.
Oh wait, ngayon na pa niya ginamit. Okay na niya ginamit.
Evo, and then I can evolve right into.
This is what I hate facing against Gardy.
Know if torrential pump is going to be the best option here.
Yeah, denying a Ralph when there's already a Gardevoir in play.
No, Gardevoir na kaagad.
Even the active because Adrenal Brain was utilized by
Well,
and KOing the active, so you need a combination of like an energy, a buff
the
sword,
only way, ano, pwedeng sagot mo dito is Angelite and then, ano, Angelite, the Gardevoir, and the Rants. Effort eh. Balik sa deck.
one of the big issues for
Yeah. He gets knocked out, he gets, ano, yep.
110 HP of this Gardevoir is a little
Kung may crispin siya sa kamay, that'll do well. That'll do better.
in this list you have to like
I can rotate. Angelite.
like you can brace or something to be able to take a knockout with Cornelius
Or not.
any damage, so that's very tough. But we are seeing that Jewel Seeker for the boss's orders and the Sparkle Crystal, so we are going to see a true price knockout. I think it's
Oh!
the Frillish or the Frillish
Smart.
plus the Monkey
I like it.
Darkness
I like it.
Yep, those are the choices right here.
Yeah, Boss's orders bring that up. Beautiful play, trying to get not only the item lock,
Beautiful, beautiful.
but the tool lock also matters.
Okay.
Starting off the Spark
Nakuha ni Terra Orb.
can't attach a balloon or something like that that's in the deck. And even though Austin Ellis has to go a little bit out on a limb, this is still a Pokemon in the active spot that needs to be dealt with. Bradley Curcio promotes Gardevoir EX, still has access to Psychic Embrace, of course. If there's another Darkness Energy for Monkey Dory, can move that damage over and take the knockout with Miracle Force force here to keep up with this prize race.
Rally definitely in a lot of trouble here. His Fizz and defeat in the discard pile, so he won't be able to draw any extra cards with
Bakit hindi pa nasasagot yung tanong mo? Ano kung sagot ko dapat? We are currently at G.
at the moment. We do have UEX being searched for, so I guess that's our best.
So, pa-rotate out na sila Gardevoir.
Until also hit the discard pile off of that Ultra Ball, so a lot of Pokemon going down. I think we might end up attacking with Gardevoir EX here in this situation, which leaves it a little vulnerable to the potential Cornelian. However, because the Sparkling Crystal is there, there's no way to get 3 energies on a Flareon EX in a single go. And Bradley definitely knows this. He'll know what he's up against. He'll know what sort of possibilities Austin has
My gosh.
for a treat. And
That
okay, the club
EV box.
do enough damage to take down this Overfund thanks to the Area Zero under depth, increasing the bench size.
Now, Lily's Clefairy EX, folks, because of its Fairy Zone ability to make Dragon Pokemon weak to Psychic, we often forget that if there's a full bench, it has that beautiful Full Moon Rondo attack. You can just punch something if you'd like, and brings up EVEX besides. Going to take 2 damage here, and I love this as well, right? Because the EV is going to be the next attacker. The
Yep.
EVEX is still worth 2 prizes, has 200 HP, it's an easy knockout. You already know Wellspring Ogre Pond is not really going to be a threat. Sparkling Crystal you can solve for free, but that's just giving you 3 damage to send back with Monkey Dory.
Mega Evolution is a good set to come back to, actually.
EV on the bench.
If you're coming back, that's the best set to jump into.
Hopefully there's a crisp in there.
Kasi good luck sa Phantasmal Flames.
Get a little bit of chance and distribute some energy out.
Yeah, but as mentioned, I don't think there's a way to one KO this Clefairy back.
Kasi right now, yung ano is Mega Gardevoir,
Hard enough
Mega Lucario, Mega Latios, Mega,
moment.
what the?
Very good for Bradley.
Mega Venusaur.
And Arvin off of that restart drop from Mew, being able to find more Darkness Energy for his Monkey Dory on the bench, send even more damage, and perhaps take an extra price card on this Rotom that is already damaged. And if you sneak a couple extra price cards away, all of a sudden you don't need to KO 3 Pokemon EXs, you just need to KO 2, and you get a few extra resources down the line with that.
With all of the Noctowls on the bench, having to bench the Latias EX, these are a lot of vulnerable Pokemon that give up prizes easily. And Bradley, as long as the stabilization happens, will be able to have his pick of which Pokemon he wants to knock out.
And
Okay,
like I
knocked
said,
out Eevee.
Gardevoir, the Pokemon of choice to take down this EX. It's not going to be Clefairy being extra cautious, make sure that there's no way the Clefairy EX goes down in this upcoming turn. Another thing Bradley knows is that Austin probably doesn't play a counter to his own Area Zero, right? Or there might be a copy
Yeah, there is
of
Gravity.
Kung ako yan, ang gagawin ko is,
doesn't know exactly that. The odds of that
ibabalik ko,
lower the bench size.
iboboss ko si Gardevoir,
Not necessarily.
i-forward ko si,
Both players have 5 Pokemon on their bench. Clefairy
either Clefairy or si Monkey Dory, and then i-Angelite ko.
take them a lot.
Kaya lang, ang ginamit na niya siya ginamit na niya yung,
Not for the weakest part.
yung,
Dragon type Pokemon, but because that full
yung gem.
actually does a lot of damage.
And this is sort of the conundrum of the matchup we're seeing on full display here. You want to go for an early torrential pump, assign your Sparkling Crystal, but you don't yet have Larion down, you don't have an additional attacker to take over after Wellspring has done its initial duty. Use that torrential pump and shuffle energy back into the deck. Thankfully,
Ano ba yung huling set na nilaro mo, Baki?
Jewel Seeker, gonna need to find a crisp in here.
At meron ka bang hinahabol ng Pokemon?
Flareon has to evolve up this EV and try to get a different attack. I don't know if Austin Ellis or if it's even worth to bring up this Monkey Dory or the Vaults just so that Burning Charge takes a prize. It might be better to just do a significant chunk of damage to the Gardevoir EX in the active spot.
We're going to see the Crispin be found by the Jewel Seeker. We're going to see a Nestball probably grabbing that Terapagos, but Terapagos is not going to
Ito yung mga cards na sobrang high na yan. Ito yun ang ayoko sa EV. Ang mahal-mahal ng mga cards.
We are not playing Boss's Orders, and we are tight in prices. So Counter Catcher is available in the list, but it's not active right now. So best we can hope for is an attack into the Gardevoir, and hope we can finish it off at some point, perhaps with Torrential Pump later down the line.
EX onto the bench, and Crisp a deck for 2 energies of different types. One goes to a Pokemon directly, the other one goes in the hand. And the shorthand, of course, is essentially both are going to go on one Pokemon. But Austin Ellis kind of going on a different path.
Nagtutuloyan siya.
To Wellspring Ogre Pond. This does unlock Torrential Pump once more because the Sparkling Crystal remains. Latias.
Ito yung problema ko usually when I play ano eh. Kasi there are times that you need Sparking Crystal sa ibang Pokemon, but then suddenly you have it here.
See, Austin has access to Iron Bundle, but there's no bench space for it. I don't think we're just gonna see Torrential Pump for 100 damage to the active that is currently missing and 120 damage
Well,
to the benched Ralts. Need that damage on
tagal pa yun, man.
it's not just a snipe.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good set to come back kasi start pa lang ng bagong set eh.
130.
So you can easily catch up with some of the cards.
Yeah, they'll definitely get around to that eventually. After the evolving, probably just making sure that the IC presence, the energy is being shuffled back in, and there is damage assigned to Gardevoir.
So nilalamig na ako.
Rally. Super Candy, Gardevoir, either top deck one of the 2 cards right now, but now that Ralts is gone, that Gardevoir, if
Ah.
it's taken down, it could be a little
I mean, that's good naman. You can try that.
The attack here of choice. That way, if Gardevoir goes down, you still have the Clefairy powered up, potentially one of your last prize cards.
Yeah, it is always unfortunate to have these awkward spots. The Eevee did not even evolve into a Flareon here, so there is a world where, once again, this Wellspring Ogre Pond isn't able to just keep taking prizes now that there's a lot more HP in play on the bench on Bradley's side. And when you're continuously having to use Crispin to make up this, I want to say tempo loss, essentially, of not being able to attach additional energy with Burning Charge, losing the energies you have in play due to Torrential Pump's effect. And when you're playing Crispin, you can't play Boss. And if Bradley can consistently put something in the active with enough HP that's not going to get knocked out by Burning Charge or Torrential Pump, the prize match.
Yeah, ito yung ano eh. Ito yung ayoko pag ano, whenever I play Eevee. You don't put the Sparkling Crystal as much as you can kay Wellspring. Kasi you could have put it in the Eevee. Either so you do Angelite or something within that lights. Kasi you basically remove the routes. You force their opponent to expend resources kasi. And that's the idea with the Angelite.
I don't know if you want to risk the knockout with Gardevoir. Now, by playing the Artisan down as well, Austin was able to discard that previously damaged Rotom. Therefore, that's no longer like an easier option to take a knockout somewhere down the line. I don't know how, if, like a rally, how do you approach this? If you attack with Gardevoir, it's definitely risky. You did discard some of your opponent's bench Pokemon. You will be knocking out the only Terra available as well, making it harder to Jewel Seeker next turn for your opponent. But do you do it with Clefairy, the lower HP Pokemon that could get return KO'd by Terrapagos? And, well, there's no way to Briar and Crispin the same turn. And Sparkling Crystal is not available, so we can't take 3 prizes in a single turn. There is a copy of Briar in Austin's deck,
I actually, yeah, I think I like your line, Pablo, of just attacking with the Clefairy, forcing Austin to find that line. No Terra Pokemon in play, it's very difficult to properly retaliate.
Yeah.
And even if Austin takes 2 prize cards, you're on 1 prize remaining. I think that gives you plenty of time to just bring up Latias or use EX as your final 2 prizes. Bradley Curcio sees it here. He's going to assign to Lily's Clefairy EX. And with the benches filled up the way they are, plus a little bit of a brain, that is perfect math.
Yeah, Full Rondo doing 200 damage with the Adrena Brain.
Gosh.
Moving that 20 off.
It'd be nice if the if the
3x in the active
Eevee box player has an Umbreon.
90 is not easy for Austin. He's gonna need an Arrow Zero, a Crispin, a Terrapagos EX, and 2 more benched Pokemon. So it's gonna be a little tough here to pull that off. Not impossible. I do think I saw an S-Ball in the hand, and that can give you the Terrapagos, so you don't have a Noctowl, then you're in trouble. And if you Nest Ball for sensitivity to draw 3 extra cards, all of a sudden you need to evolve the Eevee in order to have a Terra Pokemon available for you. Otherwise, Jewel Seeker doesn't work. So
Oh my goodness. I think that is Austin really going to have to go for that flip the script and hit Flareon or Leafeon if it's that bad.
Yeah, draw with Mew. I see he has a nest ball. He has. Is that
Fan
Gravity
Rotom and
Mountain?
Gravity Mountain, yes.
Oh, okay. So Gravity Mountain is not a good card to have here. Yeah. But
Yeah, he's going to. Ugh.
to Mew. We know that a Flareon and a Leafeon were discarded previously right there. He chose not to evolve the Eevee when he had the possibility, so that might end up costing him. And that's part of why Brad KO'd the EVX. That's a Terra Pokemon as well,
Yes.
right? So by KOing that EVX over the Sparkling Crystal attached Pokemon, made it so that he limited the potential damage from Austin and also eliminated that possibility. Now, one card off the top with restart. Couldn't tell what that was, but now this Serendipity item has to be the best Serendipity in the history of Serendipity.
Okay, let's see it, folks. 3 cards off the top. Needs a Flareon,
1,
Briar,
Fire,
2.
Crispin,
and
Ugh.
another energy.
energy, alright.
Let's move on. Okay, let's move on.
Even attack this, but there's just nothing.
Di ba kakatake EV Box player? This is why I say it's so hard to it's so hard to play with an EV Box. Kasi kung magkamali ka na ng isang turn, yan ang mangyayari sa board state mo. At kaya ako siya binenta. Let's move to the, wait, ano na ba to? Fine. Wait lang. Wait, ano nga na tayo? Okay, hanap tayo ng Hanap tayo ng medyo bad matchup.
Dark Energy, Psychic Energy, the Vessel, a couple of pieces, nothing too bad really for either player. Hopefully we'll have a good, clean, fair fight. We'll have to see as the game progresses here. Who's going first, who's going second? These are big, important pieces for both of these set-up-based decks. And I think it is time, folks. Let's hear it for both of our finalists, and let's get into this final match.
Okay, final match tayo.
Does appear that a
Frustrate ako dun sa EV Box.
Frillish in his active spot, Liam on the other side of the table. In
Daming lines masyado.
is active. Vaughn does find a nest ball immediately, and we'll take a moment to now check his prize cards. The Frillish start, I have to imagine, is pretty good for him.
Yeah, this lines up so well. If you have the energy to go along with this, you are threatening early and often that Jellicent. We see it's in the deck there. It's giving a great look.
Hindi matatapos. Okay. Okay lang, kasi by 11 stop ko muna tong yung watching. Eh di forward natin. Pwede naman natin forward. Kasi yung ito ba yung nagka-issue?
Nest ball will find a route. Of course, it's important to get that Pokemon established, as Gardevoir EX, the namesake of this archetype, is the most important Pokemon for Vaughn to get into play. But he does need to be mindful about when it comes down, because it is weak to dark, and that is really what makes this matchup so difficult. All of Vaughn's options are weak to dark. The Gardevoir, the Jellicent, and then even something like the Lily's Clefairy doesn't have that much HP. These Pokemon can be dealt with rather easily.
Kasi wala eh. Medyo bad matchup talaga si Gardevoir dito. Sobrang bad matchup. If you Tapos naka ka pa. Naka-Flinish. Jellicent EX. Oh my gosh.
Here is for Liam to not play that many item cards this turn and not get that set up. But Liam has found the perfect item card to start with in the game. The Pokemon TCG Buddy Poffin, as he is set for 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less, putting them directly
Makuha lang yung Eds Castle, tapos yun eh.
through a pound right away. Looking to get into or EX on the next turn.
Yeah, I can think of
Teka, kukunin ko na nga lang muna yun.
go along with this, and it's in the hands.
Secret box.
It's that pink guy, and it's
Frustrate ako dun.
not only now, but I don't think he really has to use it, but it'd be great to. You might as well. You have the nest ball to go along with this. I think there's another Zorua in the hand too. A full setup, just waiting to go. All the items that opponent wants to avoid, he's staring at right in the face.
Yeah,
Ugh.
Liam better play the secret box now because he knows he will not be able to play it on the next turn. Oceanic Bloom, the attack on the Frillish. 20 damage, and it prevents your opponent from playing any item cards on their next turn. So Liam might as
But to be fair, Enzo Roark is a good, solid choice. Not with with the current meta at the moment. Tapos mabilis mo pa siya mabuo kasi you can just buy. Wait, sorry, Grimstar yung iniisip
The
ko.
second item card played, grabbing Monkey Dory out of the deck. Of course, its Adrenabrain ability is one we will see utilized by both of these players throughout the
Yeah.
course of this match. Three damage counters from your side of the field.
Well, technically mura na mga yun si Enzo
Liam
Roark.
actually will hold off on playing the Secret Box. What do you make of that, Kyle?
Yeah, this is a bit of what I was leaning towards. It's like a hedge because you know that you can handle Jellicent fairly easily in this
Ugh.
matchup as long as you get one good attack off. Maybe you need that secret box for later on in the game.
Si buti na lang hindi na ginamit yung secret
Whatever
box.
closeout you'll need when you're already down a few prize cards, you see an Iona.
Off the draw for a Bond. See a Artisan, but I don't see a Curlia. No Ultra Ball. No way to search out evolutions. No technical machine evolution. So that could be a big miss here if a Bond is not able to get into a Curlia to threaten a Gardevoir quickly.
Frillish against the world right now. It's where Avant's been pretty comfortable, just locking out some of those items, biding his time, and trying to find another supporter for a future turn.
Yun na.
Look at this. Off of a Bonds Iono, Liam has found himself a pair of Ins Zoark EX. Trade is already online. He uses Artisan here not to grab a basic.
Mukhang ano, bubuha ako ng Enzo, kukuha ko ng Enzo Roark EX.
Those cards that were Iono to the bottom on the previous turn.
Savant smiles.
I think one of the decks that I'm going to build pagdating ni Phantasmal, Enzo Roark EX.
We know trades are online fairly soon, and there's a lot of great cards to see. It might not be
You know.
attacks just yet, but we'll see if, as soon as some dark energies are found.
Draw from the first trade and now the second with the Artisan.
There we go.
Carded found the secret box once again. Of course, unable to play that. Does look like Iono is in the hand. One thing that Liam would like to find, I'm sure, would be a darkness energy. But the thing with this matchup is he is not going to be that pressured. He can play a slow game. He's going to do just that with that Professor Pearl scenario, picking up his Ins Zoroark, evolving the other Zorua into Zoroark, and look at that, he's rewarded with a darkness.
Finds the dark energy. It has to feel good. Even points it out to him. Says, look at this. This is what happens sometimes when you make the big plays. He's got Pal Pad. He's got a bunch of resources for later on. So when you see the frivolous use of these one-of supporter cards, in this case it's a two-of, you'll see that he's definitely going to have that opportunity later on.
Feeling ko frustrated to si Aban eh. Sobrang bad matchup.
That spot. Go for the Turo, play it slower. Aban didn't do much on the other end of his Iono. Didn't play that many cards. Perhaps he gave something away with his body language as well that led to Liam not wanting to see more cards on his end because he knew his opponent didn't have much to work with.
Right? You're completely content as Liam here, stacking up the damage on the Ends Reshiram. You will dictate when the damage starts to fly with your Monkey Dory, and when you're ready to move this Pokemon, it shouldn't be too hard. You're just going to fill your hand with traits from there on out.
Oceanic Gloom once again, 20 more damage and no items for Liam, but he is content to just trade away these Cyranos with the pair of Zoroark he has in play. Hilda can search out another Zoroark and the energy card.
Okay.
Get an energy attachment to this Zoroark EX. If he's able to have Air Balloon here, we could see him start to attack. But as we've seen so often from Liam's games, he's willing to play it slow. Wait until he has a very, very strong board and then strike.
Right? We'll see how he feels, how comfortable he is right now. He has not seen very much from Bond. This might be a moment where you feel comfortable. It's just a Ralts, a Lily's
Okay, that's how. Okay.
His energy attachment means that he's ready, but still needs to move this Pokemon.
Will choose to just pass. No Air Balloon, no attack lined up, and what a draw for a Bond. Professor's Research as the top deck for turn. Will be able to discard this hand and draw 7 more. The perfect card to find whenever you have nothing working for you in your hand.
Few cards would be great to see here, especially if you want to accelerate energies on the board anytime soon. Just getting the energies in the discard pile is the #1 piece, and thankfully Florbon has the Psychic along with the Earthen Vessel. Thin out a little bit more here, and we'll have some dark energies to work with.
But still here, Kyle, I do not see a Curlia nor an Ultra Ball. No way to get that Pokemon into play unless Avon wanted to break his Oceanic Gloom lock and go for Technical Machine Evolution. Would that be worth it?
Well, what items are really disrupting you at this point? You're sitting here at a 6-6 prize exchange. You don't have much else. You'd be nervous about nest balls or anything like that. So if you did want to, we're getting close to that point.
Liam kicking things right back off with his turn trade. Number 1 discards Toad Scroll. Number 2 discards Toad School. And then now one more trade looking here for potentially an air balloon. Through the deck here. There's an energy switch. I still do not see an air balloon.
This is taking quite a long time here to find the resources to move this Pokemon.
Kahit kaya na ako mag-shot, feeling ko gagaling ako sa...
More damage. Yeah, there should be more damage on the Inns Reshiram because of the weakness of the Lily's Clefairy EX. So it should be boosted. Yeah, I think this is right.
Okay.
2 times without the Lily's Clefairy in play, and then 2 times with the Lily's Clefairy in play. So that would be a total of 100 damage.
Okay, okay.
Fun. A little overplaying there with the damage now. Maybe not be prepared for that one. Fly around on this side. And Liam, he may have been using Monkey Dory if that were the case, or at least eyeing up a second Monkey Dory just to start shifting those counters.
Use of the Artisan from Liam just to check the deck, give it a shuffle. Yes, air balloons are still hiding out in there. Did use Professor Turo scenario earlier. He does play 2 copies, but there's just 1 remaining. That would be another way for him to get this Reshiram out of the active spot. I do wonder if he would be willing to push the advantage here if he had it available.
Okay.
Now a second Monkey Dory, 2 Adrenabrains that'll heal 60 damage from this Inns Reshiram, placing it onto the roll.
Si Team Pretty si Liam eh.
See what Bond is able to do.
Yeah, energy over to the Frillish now, as loading up for what would be quite a retreat, or finding that jealous sense of taking that back in and loading up on those trainers that you can lock out, but dealing some damage that could knock out this Reshiram here. Doesn't feel great, but that you have that prize card available now with the damage that you have with the Clefairy.
Bond able to find a Curly at the end. It will be a KO now.
He didn't mean to.
I think he did not want to KO this Inns Reshiram.
Ah, wala.
Yep, you have to. You're
You have to, sinabi mo na eh.
His tapped Pokemon, he announced
Yep, yung sinabi mo na eh. Announce mo na yung attack eh.
Abon wanted to leave that Pokemon locked into the active spot for a little bit longer while he tried to perhaps establish his Gardevoir EX into play.
Na, pag sinabi mo ng declare, you declare attack, you declare.
Halliburton is behind on prize cards. That means Counter Catcher is live. He has every play in the world available.
Yun.
It would be if it weren't for Frillish, but at least Boss's Orders could be a nice target here. Off the Iono, still not seeing those resources just yet, but he is starting to flood the hand. Of course, now as this Pokemon's knocked out, Air Balloon's position for him.
He does find the Rocket's Watchtower, which could be nice to bump the Artisan over on Abon's side. Just limit
Well,
more Pokemon into play.
yeah, may pagka.
Here, as long as Liam is finding attachments to Zora,
Kasi ang mangyayari niyan is
to pivot out of Monkey Dory Mind Bend plays, he's feeling pretty good.
box ng N ng N Pokemon.
In his game against Rahul yesterday, just willing to pass and send Pokemon up, let them take hits, allow Abon to keep doing his thing, while he just gets his board totally established.
Whittling away at the deck. Each trade that he takes one useless card out of his deck until everything is perfect. And once your opponent takes some prize cards, that Iono in combination with whatever you may find, and that perfect Boss's Orders, or whatever it may be, great setup here too, as you don't see any target for Abon to try to lock in place.
Speaking of the lock, Abon does keep up the Oceanic Plume with the attack, 20 damage now, laid down. Trade, he's trying to get through his deck. I imagine what he's aiming to do here is just make sure all of the bad cards are out of his deck so that Iono from Abon does not hurt him that much.
Exactly. All these cards are basically useless for him at this point. All the items he doesn't want to see. Any combination. Amplifying damage, moving Pokemon around, catch a run, finding Mochi, any of those combos. He doesn't need that.
He does have the ability to use Adrenabrain, move this 20 damage over to one of Abon's Pokemon. It will be the Curlia on the bench receiving that damage. Of course, Abon would be happy to and probably will just ping pong that back over to Liam's side somewhere.
Start to wonder, how does Abon really break this? Since there's no attack that knocks out
ganda ng paggagawa ni Liam.
The attack from Enzor EX allows you to use one of the attacks of one of your benched Inns Pokemon, copying the Virtue Flame from the Inns Reshiram, taking the knockout. Liam has finally decided to stray.
It's a pretty solid spot to do this too. You take that single prize KO as opposed to an EX. Now your opponent doesn't have access to counter catcher, targeting down on a niche piece of your setup like that from Dory or the Ents Reshiram. That's basically the one way you can see Amon trying to work out this situation is if you remove one piece of the puzzle, maybe the whole setup can come hit you.
Liam also did not utilize Adrenaline Brain last turn, wants to keep that damage on his Enzor EX so that he can utilize it to take out something like the Vezendipity EX for a couple prizes, perhaps the Clefairy EX if that comes into the active spots.
Some of those considerations for Amon's strategy to maybe try to work in the technical machine de-evolution at some points, but this is such a telegraphed play. You see the Monkey Dories, you have to get the damage on board, but then you're walking right into KOs from the Zoroark. But I suppose they're already there, the amount of damage you have from Liam's side, but he's content to
Wala, ang ganda ng setup ni Liam dito.
He wants this damage in play so that he
I
can
mean, that's very smart from Liam's side.
Bond, of course.
You have to make sure na hindi ka ma-screw over ng mga ng mga Ionos.
Strong and effective that item locking ability is now.
one card away if it were only that easy for Amon.
Yeah, Liam, of course, holding on to Iona in the hand. That will be a way for him to just refresh the deck. He does also have Super Item Palpad. Of course, can't play those cards right now with the Frillish attacking turn after turn, but Iona will work just fine.
Plenty of work done so far. Lots still left to be done.
5 cards drawn now for each of these players, and now with 40 damage on both of his Zoroark. Perhaps now Liam will attack. I feel like every time I say that he passes again, but we'll see. We'll see. Is this the moment, Kyle?
Is this the Pokemon you really want to knock out at this point? You open up the counter catcher plays from your opponent, the 4 or 5 prizes. Doesn't work out great for you. But at some point, do you have to make this play?
He's got to do something at some point. He does have less cards in deck than Avon, so if he does nothing for forever, that would lead to Avon eventually winning by deck out. So he's got to start making moves. Eventually, not that pressure, but oh wow! And look at this.
That's so cute.
He's going for the powerful rage. The other attack on Inns Reshiram, 20 damage for damage counter on this Pokemon with just one singular damage counter on the Enzor that allows Liam
Okay, so what?
40 damage onto this dark.
Lol.
Yeah, softening both of these up. We'd like to remove both at the same time.
Wow.
And meanwhile, Amon's thinking very similarly about these end Zoroarks. He wants to push as much damage over there and then use the TM Devolution to clear these up and avoid the trades.
Yeah, now we're getting a good look into Liam's game plan here. Next turn with Adrenaline Brain, he will aim to clear both of these Frillish out of play. The problem, though, is Avon has the way to ping-pong those damage counters right back. So it may be a few turns before Liam fully completes this play. So looks like we are having a judge review at the moment. Perhaps an issue with the Release Clefairy dealing damage in those early turns into the Dragon type in Reshiram.
Oof.
So having both players their headsets on as our judges are taking just account of something here.
We had the Iono played, so amount of cards.
We'll get word as soon as we have it and give you all an update on what the review is about. Looks like they're counting Avon's deck and discard pile. It seems like they perhaps think that he doesn't have 60 cards. Has a card gone missing somewhere between his top 4 and finals match?
What card would you want here, Chip?
It looks like he may be missing a card. He may have set up for this game with only 59
Oh.
cards in his deck.
Ito ba yun?
This is a really
Oh,
interesting spot here, Kyle. I think that there may be an issue with something that happened between his top 4 and finals match.
Yeah, with the
we're hearing here, folks. So we'll keep you updated as we get more word. But it does, for the moment, appear that Abon has played this first game up to this point with 59 cards in his deck.
Okay,
No
that's bad.
confirmation if that is the
If
case.
that's the case,
And
then game
so
one loss.
will proceed. And I have to imagine, my knowledge of the rule book would lean into this leading to a game loss for Abon.
Yeah, I'm looking at game loss here, Chip. That's kind of need the 60 cards to play the game.
Yeah, so to set up and play a game of Pokemon TCG, you have to have 60 cards. And we've got a situation here where a player has played a game with an illegal deck. A deck that is not legal for tournament play. It does not have exactly 60 cards in it. And the result of that situation generally is a game loss. And this is the way that ruling normally happens. Someone maybe accidentally shows up to a tournament with a 61st card in their deck, didn't quite cut the last card they wanted to, or someone loses a card somewhere along the way throughout a tournament, which appears to be the case here.
Yep.
I mean, no fault to Avon for this, but I mean, what a tough spot to be in here in the finals. It's already such a tough matchup, and
Medyo bad matchup ka na nga, tapos down ka pa ng one game because of
Yeah, we've run into situations like this before where you maybe have the same stadium as your
Yes.
opponent, and they accidentally take that with
the
them
same
to
color
go on.
sleeves, right?
Yeah, that's why you got to play the pink sleeves, Chip. Spice
Because
things up
nobody
a
else
little bit.
uses them.
Well, now they do. They've caught on.
Try to differentiate yourself as much as possible there. Yeah, really interesting spot. We'll get the full ruling. We got our judges on this situation here, and get full word to everyone as soon as we have it. But yeah, really, really tough, unfortunate situation here for Avon. Just that box of the card hiding in there. Wow.
Not sure if that's an extra sleeve or with the card.
Yeah, that was
That's,
really interesting.
now, what do we do if the situation is that he was handed this deck with just the 59? That's where it gets interesting. I suppose
It's still ultimately,
He
at
has
the
to
end of the
pull.
day, it is the player's responsibility. This is why some players like to, pile counts before they play their game, make sure they've got all 60 cards
Yeah.
with them. So,
I've heard thoughts about that.
yeah, so rulings are happening, discussions are being made. Every avenue is being explored, I'm sure, here, as this is the finals match. There is a lot on the line. So,
Yun nga, kaya nga every time pa naglaro ako, pinipilang ko rin sa akin eh.
just for what they should be.
You can only imagine what Liam's thinking going through this. He's set up on the other side. Played
Yeah, I think Liam's thinking about his dinner tonight, honestly.
he might be able to get an upgrade or two. That's
Upgrade on
pretty nice.
back home. Yeah, good situation if you're on Liam's side, and an absolute nightmare on the side of Avon. And yeah, I mean, no fault. It sounds like it's a innocent mistake, and hopefully we'll be able to get that resolved and get that 60th card back to Avon for this next match, next game, potentially here in this match. Here we go. Look at the card. There it is. It's a Monkey Dory as well.
That would have been pretty nice. Maybe could have.
He wrote down that he prized a Monkey Dory.
Like, I priced 7 cards. So something's wrong here.
Which card do you think he misplaced that he didn't? It's probably the Ultra Ball. No one ever checks to see if they have all 4 Ultra Ball, right?
Di natin alam eh. Baka may nagsabi sa judge.
Wow.
All
Wow.
right,
And we're
well,
getting word Abon has actually chosen to concede the match, and that means that Liam Halliburton is going to come away from this as the Pittsburgh regional champion.
Okay,
that's Pokemon.
that's Pokemon.
Yeah, wow, what an interesting finals, what an interesting spot to be in. But yeah, Liam Halliburton here, not the way he maybe would have wanted it, but he is indeed our regional champion here in Pittsburgh. Let's hear it for him, folks.
Yep, still an unbelievably well-earned victory.
Hindi, baka ano yan eh. Baka may nagsabi or something.
Liam, he played so well. He was truly undefeated. He made his way all the way to 12-0. And
Try natin. May announcement siya din. PTCG Radio.
let a golden go in there too. Didn't matter.
Bago siyang announcement eh. Basta. Hindi po ako nakasubscribe. Okay.
Good morning, all of anyone you're watching this. Good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross Noble with Cold Outputs Radio, and if you
Okay, wait. Ito.
good morning, all
Yeah, oo, grabe yun.
yes, good afternoon, good evening, or good night.
Kasi kung if you think about it, kasi ganyan, if you think about it, yung matchup na yun, medyo dehado ka na eh. I mean, you're already down ng one game, tapos bad matchup pa. O diba? Kung ako yun, I would agree na ginawa niya ni Aban na give up na lang niya. Kesa patagalin mo pa, pahirapan mo pa sarili mo, diba?
So
Panoorin muna natin to.
look, Phantasmal Flames is coming. And the Japanese equivalent set Inferno X has been fully revealed. And there's a few cards we've yet to have a look at from
Okay,
that set.
sige.
And
Tingnan natin.
frankly, I think we should probably have a look at the missing cards in that set now, shouldn't we? There are some very interesting cards coming around here. Ones we need to have a little bit of a look at. So let's start off with a bit of a fire theme. Let's start off with Reshiram. Basic
Hello.
Pokemon, 130 HP, single energy, 30 damage. Which, to be fair, isn't terrible. If you're up against a deck playing things like Badoo or Joltik, and there are a bunch of decks like that out there, this will actually be a relevant attack that will get you a KO, yay, etc. But what we've also got here is 4 energy, 240 damage, and this Pokemon does 60 to itself. Now, generally speaking, you look at an attack that takes 4 energy and you go, well, nah. Not loving it, not into it, not a fan.
Pero,
This isn't for me. Most of the time, I would agree.
yeah,
with
pero
that.
kasi may dumating na
But
bagong
here,
card for
gentlemen,
Fire Pokemon.
here. Because we've got ways to get the energy on.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, in this very set, where we get Oricorio. And what Oricorio does is lets you attach as much energy as you like, fire energy, from your hand to your bench fire Pokemon. But you've got to have a fire Mega Pokemon EX in play. That's it. That's the trade-off. If you've got a fire Mega Pokemon EX in play, you can attach as much energy as you like to your bench fire Pokemon from your hand.
Reset.
Now, we do have an option here for Charizard, but I think probably a lot of the time the better option is going to be Camerupt, just because Camerupt's a stage 1 rather than a stage 2.
Wait. Your opponent's active Pokemon's burn this attack does 160 more damage. So that's 240. Burn 27, 260. Ooh.
You need your basic Oricorio, not asking that much. We need your stage 1 Camerupt, not asking that much. And then you add all of that up together and you're like, oh, now I can attach as much energy as I like. And I'm doing 240 on a single prize Pokemon. Now this might be the part of the video where you go wassy wassy wassy. What about getting all the energy in my hand? Fire Breather. Let's use
No.
for
See,
7
Fire Breather.
basic fire
7
energy.
basic fire
If you find
energy.
that
Oh my god.
This one could genuinely actually work. But if you want another fire Pokemon that's doing a huge amount of damage, might I suggest a little bit of the old Ceruledge, single energy, 220 damage, but you got to discard 4 basic fire energy from your hand. If you don't, this attack does. And I'm doing.
Alright. 360. Mega Charizard DX. Oh! Oh! Oh!
But if you want another
Okay,
fire
buhay ulit si Ceruledge!
damage,
Buhay si Ceruledge!
Just a little bit of the old Ceruledge, single energy, 220 damage, but you got to discard 4 basic fire energy from your hand. If you don't, this attack does nothing. This might be the star of the set. This might legitimately be one of the best cards in the entire set. Firstly, I just mentioned Fire Breather. So you get this out, you play Fire Breather, you get 7 basic fire in hand, 1 gets attached to Ceruledge, and you've got 6 in hand, so you've got the 4 you need to discard. Job's a good one. But this is the part where we remember about Ceruledge EX. And this is about the best combination we can possibly
Yes!
ask for.
I love it.
Ceruledge EX, what does it really need? Energy
In the discard pile.
Single energy, 30 damage, plus 20 more for each energy in the discard pile. And we got Fire Breather to search all the energy out. So you start off with your Ceruledge, dumping energy in the discard while doing 220 damage, which I assure you in the early game is going to be fine. It's not going to be enough for the whole game, Not
Yeah.
saying it is. But in the early game, 220 is going to be good. Then you discard all your energy. Oh, look. Now Cerule GX comes in to clean
Yep.
up. You can be 2-hit KOing in the early games. You're a single prize Pokemon. By the time you need those big giant one-hit KOs to end the game, Cerule GX is here to give those big giant KOs.
Yeah,
to end the
boy.
game.
I love it.
Adore this. Might be the best card in the set. At least one of them. Now there is a new Pawmot coming along. We like Pawmot. It self-damages very much like Reshiram. And what we got here, you know, it is a stage 2, which is a pain. But 2 lightning energy, which isn't very much. And you can deal 60 to yourself to paralyze your opponent's active. Automatic paralysis is not something Pokemon let us get away with very often. Because unless you can switch out of it, you can't attack, you can't retreat, you can't do much of anything. So you've got to have a switch or a way to pick your Pokemon up or something like that. It is a very annoying thing with which to have to contend. Well, yeah. And here, you can deal 60 to yourself, you got 80 left. You can deal 60 to yourself, you got 20 left. You can legit 3 turns in a row paralyze with Pawmot here and leave your opponent in a terrible situation. Love this. Big fan. Absolutely one which I could see being fun. But it is a stage 2 and I'll be honest with you, that is a bit of a pain. If you'd rather go basic, how about Survivor? A card I really want to love. Because what we've got here is free energy 120. That's obviously terrible. But if you got a darkness type mega Pokemon in play, this Pokemon's attacks deal 120 more damage to your opponent's
Oh my gosh.
Pokemon. So it's 120, but it's actually 220 if you have a darkness type mega Pokemon in play. Ah.
No, hindi 220,
Yeah, this
240.
you can work with. If
244.
it's
Eh,
set, we've
240.
got Mega Sharpedo, which we like very much indeed. Don't forget that we did have Mega Gengar, which is down in the deck. It's still very much a thing. It's a Mega Pokemon, so that is an option. And remember, Mega Gengar's got an ability which says your Darkness type Pokemon give up 1 less prize when KO'd by a Mega EX. That's pretty good. Or maybe I remind you about
Gengar fan.
card, which says you can look at the top 7 cards of your deck, and if you find a Darkness type Pokemon there, you can just play it. You don't need to be a basic.
I love it.
Stage it is,
I so love it. Guys, hindi naman obvious favorite Pokemon. Wait lang. Hindi naman obvious favorite Pokemon ko, diba?
Darkness
Hindi naman obvious.
It is Absol. It's the best
Kaya ako-
2 energy if it's exactly
Kaya ako natutuwa.
counters on the defending Pokemon, instant KO. Doesn't necessarily like perfectly combo with Survivor, I'll be honest with ya. But if you want a Mega Darkness Pokemon with which to combine it, there's one that you can use. The energy kind of gets me though. We don't have great Darkness type energy acceleration right now, at least generally speaking. Now don't get me wrong, we've got Ends PP up, but that is for Ends Pokemon, not generally. We got Marnie's Grimmsnarl, but that's for Marnie's Pokemon, not generally. And yeah, I know we can switch energy over and all of that, that's not the point I'm making here. The point I'm making is, we don't have quite good enough stuff here. And I'm sorry. I wish we had slightly better energy acceleration. Still a very interesting Pokemon, and one I've got my eye on though. And certainly if we get good Darkness type energy acceleration in the future, this is gonna get better. While we're talking about basic Pokemon, how about Genesect? Free energy 100, nobody cares. But 1 grass energy minimum. Choose one of your opponent's Pokemon, and this attack does 20 damage to that Pokemon for each grass energy attached to this Pokemon. Venusaur. Venusaur is where we're going here, Mega Venusaur, because Mega Venusaur lets you move all your grass energy around the field as you like. So moving it over onto Genesect to do big damage onto the bench, love it. And of course we've always got Tiamat's Gogapon to get the energy into play. Grass I'm not worried about because we've got a good way to accelerate to one Pokemon and then an easy way to move it around. We are golden. Second attack, nah mate, it's terrible. First attack, however, I can get behind the first attack. You know what else I can get behind? Archaladon. 180 HP on a single prizer. Yes, that's good. And then free metal energy, 120 damage. But during your opponent's next turn, all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from basic Pokemon.
Prevent?
And this is a very situational kind of
Oh
card.
my god!
If your opponent is playing a bunch of good evolutions, this is terrible. If they're playing an all basic deck, and there are decks out there playing all basic decks, I'm looking at you, Raging Bolt. Yeah, in that situation, this becomes a much, much better option. If you find a deck that is only playing basics, this is awesome. If you're playing against decks that play more than that, no, it's not going to be good enough. I might buy you some time here and there, it only gives up one prize. But mostly it's for shutting down basic decks. And remember, our Chaladon EX accelerates energy, so
Yeah.
we're not worried about getting the energy on here. We are going to be absolutely fine.
Fine. We are already absolutely fine.
But in the situations where it fits, it's brilliant. But we do also have a new stadium, and this new stadium's kind of absurd. It's called Battle Coliseum, and it says, prevent all damage counters from being placed on bench Pokemon, that's yours and your opponent's, by the effects of the attacks or abilities used by your opponent's Pokemon. Damage from attacks is not prevented, but damage counters are stopped by attacks and abilities. And there's a couple of really relevant ones here. If you're looking at attacks, Dragapult. Dragapult's 2 energy 200 is not that good. 2 energy 200 and you drop 6 damage counters. Yes. Absolutely brilliant attack. One of the best attacks in the game. But you take away the 6 damage counters, you've got 2 energy 200. That is nowhere near as good. And sure, they can on their turn replace the stadium, but now they've got to think about either removing or replacing the stadium before they can launch a good Phantom Dive. In terms of abilities, Monkey Dory. Monkey Dory moves damage counters, but it moves it from one to another. It places damage counters. Monkey Dory is one of the best cards in the game right now, and this has got to be one of the main things that Pokemon are thinking about when they're printing this card. All of a sudden, Monkey Dory's not playing damage counters.
Okay na yung ano, okay na yung commenting sa
That's a
YouTube.
pretty big deal. Now it can still move to the active. Remember, this stadium only protects the bench. It doesn't stop you placing damage counters on the active. Okay. Expect this to be a very, very, very relevant card. And this is very deliberate, right? The whole point of this is that the card designers have looked and thought, oh, there's a couple of cards getting a little bit too good. Let's print this card to slow them down. It's very deliberate, but make no mistake about it, this is awesome. Also, as a fun little ruling query, because this has come up before,
The base was
when
up.
it comes to Monkey Dory, you can still move the damage counters off. You just cannot place them, so they essentially just disappear. You can use Monkey Dory to heal 3 damage counters. The ruling is you can move them off, but you cannot place them. They go away. How cool is that? So there we go. That's what you need. New cards, and now it's over to you guys.
Okay, that's why they were
Think about
asking.
this in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @thewasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com.
Okay, malapit na mag-11.
Radio, where you can
Let's...
support the channel, get some bonus podcasts,
The base was up.
and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Andrew Kincaid, who's been a supporter for a while now and seems to be a very lovely person. I say seems to be, I've met them several times. They are indeed very lovely.
Let's see nga kung naglabas na ng announcement si, ano,
Most important thing is
si Green
always,
Gate.
look after yourselves till next time, would ya?
There we go.
Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.
Let me just check the... Let me just check, guys, Wait lang. Let's check lang. Kaya pala napaaway ako dun sa... Yeah. Okay. So right now I am trying to get registered for the for the upcoming uh Great Ball League. That's why I'm here. So let's see now. Let's look at Pokemon GG Pokemon. Wait, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. So what do we do? What do we do in the next 2 minutes? Oh wait, there's a full
Eventually
again.
being rolled into our Phantasmal Flame set, which releases on November 13th in TCG Live, Japan's Inferno X set has been fully revealed. This means Mega Lopunny EX, the final of 6 Mega EXs, and Empoleon EX, the last of the 4 regular EXs, were shown off. And they essentially affirm my belief to be worried about this set. As a reminder, Phantasmal Flames will have less than 100 cards in it. The 80 cards from Inferno X, plus the footful of new cards in the new Mega Gengar and Mega Dion.
Jumbo ice cream. That actually looks good. Wow, 80 damage.
Decks, which released separately.
Hey, Kumba, what's up?
I've also covered several of the Phantasmal Flames cards.
When you play this Pokemon for your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, when this Pokemon is swapped out, by damage from the top of your. Oh boy! May bagong card na naman po gagamitin ng mga masamang tao na kilala ko.
Revealed already, you can find in the playlist. Today, I'll mostly be focusing on the new ones, beginning with the one that has S tier feet, Mega Lopunny, thanks to translations by Pokebeach and Pokemon Proxies. When you first look at Mega Lopunny, you might think it's hotter than regular.
Lopunny, okay. So if this Pokemon was on your bench this turn, this attack does 170 more damage, so that's 230 on one energy. Then Spike Hopper, this attack damage isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon, so it's 160. Okay. Overflow.
For Lopunny. But then you compare it to other Megas and it's clearly not. Mega Gardevoir, no damage cap. Mega Charizard, no damage cap. Mega Lucario, a damage cap, yes, yet it can one-shot Mega Lopunny for a single energy plus a maximum belt or 2 premium power pro. Still, Mega Lopunny EX is a Mega, so what's the secret spice? The answer is Thrustin. If it moved from the bench to the active spot during your turn, Gale Thrust, the name of my favorite adult model, does 230 damage for colorless energy.
Damn it!
Not bad, except we live in a world where 230 isn't even KOing a naked Raging Bolt EX. And it's coming up short on Golden Go EX as well, two of the biggest threats for Megas. While you are KOing Roaring Moon EX, another problem for Megas, if they slap an Ancient Booster on it, you're screwed. As for the second attack, Spike Hopper, it does 160 damage for 2 colorless and goes through any effects. That's great for dealing with Mimikyu, Crustle, and Aegislash. Until you remember that Luxurious Cape gives all those Pokemon plus 100 hit points, putting them out of range. What I will say is that I've seen people online pretty hyped about Mega Lopunny. Jet Energy fulfills the switching clause for Gale Thrust, while Fan Rotom grabs 3 Baniri. I disagree with this sentiment. A 3 prize that can't one-shot its biggest threats isn't something that I think will succeed. Then there's Conkeldurr and Okidogi, who KO it easily, and I don't possibly see how this becomes anything higher than a C-tier deck. I mean, compare it to Palafin EX, who does more damage and has more hit points while giving up 1 less prize. Sure, it takes a bit more work, but with Surfing Beach, it's a lot easier. Yet Palafin hasn't done anything in Japan. I know I'm overusing the 2 toes rating like I'm a game reviewer giving something 7 out of 10, but I just can't see the potential right now. Before I even get to the stats on Empoleon EX, can we all agree that giving a Water Metal Emperor Penguin a fire weakness is absurd? I get that it's a metal type in the TCG, but the whole cool thing about Empoleon is that it isn't weak to fire.
Event all effects done to this Pokemon by the attacks of opponents. Why did they release an EX?
Anyway, the card is more disappointing than watching Carkol evolve into Colossal and it not being a dump truck filled with lava rocks. Its ability is Mist Energy, protecting it from effects of attacks. This means you're safe from Alakazam and Frenzied Gouging, as well as status conditions and Dragapult ping. However, it does nothing to save you from any halfway decent Fire-type Pokemon that does 160 damage. The attack, meanwhile, does. Use Iron Phaser, deal 210 damage, and take 60 less next turn. I've seen people compare this to Hisuian Goodra V-Star, which I think is an insult to Goodra. That had no weakness, better attack, an ability that fully healed it, and access to Mirage Gate. My biggest question with Empoleon is the same I asked when I see a new pair of toes. Where does it fit? A 3 energy attack cost means it can't survive on its own. You have to pair it with a metal energy accelerator in either Archaludon or Metang. Except Archaludon is better than Empoleon. It does 10 more damage, removes its fire weakness, accelerates 2 metal upon evolution, and only has 20 less HP despite being a stage 1. The other option is Metang. But why clog things up with a stage 2 when Heatran is insane and Mega Mawile hits harder at the end of a game? You could go on defense with Full Metal Lab and Iron Defender, except
Nag-green gate. Nagabas na sa green gate.
so they can't be
Wait.
impacted.
Wait. Let me just go. Wait. Shit. Ah! Wait. Let me just get my ID. Baby, they will burn. Signing them ako. What is it? Okay, registration na. Paid and submitted form. Paid, submitted. Paid, submitted. Thanks. Hindi na ako maghihintay. Woo! Let's see na lang. Who gets? Wait, no. Wait lang guys ah. Bakit ganun? No, let me just. Shot 7. Ugh. Good. Teka lang guys, I am trying to register. Good luck, JB. Hindi pa naman. Hindi pa naman. Hindi pa sure kung nagbayad or what. Kasi mag-a-announce si Green Gate on the on the amount of the slots available. I think they're fixing it right now. Kiyatay. Anyway, tingnan natin. Sana makapasok ako. Nag-report na ako na may problem doon sa store credits ko eh. Ayun. Yes, sir. Ay, wait. What? Nagano na. Okay, wait. Okay. Next. Wait na ka. Wait. Let me just fix this. Teka lang guys. For those who are not aware, what's happening right now is we're trying to register. I am specifically trying to register to the Great Ball League that's happening this Wednesday, the first ever here in the Philippines. I'm not sure what's happening, but already, yeah. So right now we're trying to get in. Okay, sorry ah. I am on stream, I know. Right now, trying to get into that tournament. Okay, so yeah, right now, ubus na yung slots for Green Gate. Um, let's see what's gonna happen. Pero, wait lang guys. No, first ever GBL in ano, first ever GBL for the season. Uh, Paano ko hindi na ako gastos. Wait lang. I'm just fixing something. Sige. Habang naghihintay and fixing it, let's
While you
just
take
listen
time
muna.
building your stage 2. I've always been a huge fan of the fully evolved Sinnoh starters. Unfortunately, the Pokemon Company isn't, and I'll have to give this 1.5 toes out of 5. In terms of new trainers, there's only a few. Dawn is a supporter that's absolutely insane paired with Forest of Vitality. Play it, go get a basic Stage 1 and Stage 2 from deck. That gets an entire Stage 2 line like Venusaur or Meganium, who you can immediately evolve into with the Forest, provided it isn't your first turn in the game. But Dawn doesn't stop there. Other Stage 2 lines like Dragapult and Alakazam can use her, since the middle stages all draw cards. With Brock scouting in more decks than ever before, and Jacques and Hilda both being strong, it'll be interesting to see where Dawn fits in all this. They all have their pros and cons, meaning it's too early to give an accurate assessment. All I know for sure is that it's always darkest before the dawn, which means it's potentially really good. Probably the most hyped card in this final round of announcements is Battle Coliseum. Of course, Debbie Downer Pilot is here to explain to you why you shouldn't get too excited about the stadium that's like a buff Sky Pillar from back in the day. The effect of Battle Coliseum reads, prevent all damage counters from being placed on bench Pokemon, both yours and your opponent's, by the effects of the attacks or abilities used by the opponent's Pokemon. Because Battle Coliseum protects against attacks and abilities, that means cards like Dragapult, Dusknoir, and Uxie can't place damage counters on your bench Pokemon. Obviously, the biggest card impacted by the Coliseum is Munkidori, which is yet another example of the Pokemon Company printing a card to directly counteract the strongest strategies long after they've won countless tournaments. Unfortunately, read Battle Coliseum again. It only protects your bench, not your active. So Gardevoir can still soften up your active with Munkidori, then Screamtail the bench.
Nope.
The worst case
Damage
scenario,
yung
this
ano.
uses Munkidori to heal.
Damage yung kay Marty's Dreamstar. So, it would negate. So, what's gonna happen is, the Battle Coliseum would let the damage go through kasi it's an attack, not putting damage counters on it. September 21 is yesterday too. Paano na yung credit? Pero may ibig sabihin ng dami na naman gagamit na Shaman. I don't know. Balik ano ata si ano? Mukhang relevant ulit si ano? Yeah. Pero let's see. Let's see.
Heal their Pokemon, sending the damage who cares where, because Drifloon and Mega Gardevoir can reach 300 damage easily. Actually, Pilot, worst case scenario is that they just, bump your stadium with another stadium. Gardevoir, for example, is typically playing 3 in the form of 2 Mystery Garden and 1 Artisan along with Secret Box to find that stadium. While Dragapult is stadium averse, they're getting a new card in Phantasmal Flames called Heat Burner. Bin a fire energy from hand, discard a stadium, tool, or special energy in play. Or they could even throw in a copy of Chen Pao, which removes a stadium by simply being played from hand, though that probably won't happen. Battle Coliseum also exists in a world with Rabsca and Psyduck. Rabsca protects against damage counters on bench Pokemon from attacks, while Psyduck shuts down Dust Noir. So Battle Coliseum mostly just comes from Monkey Dory, except you have to put 3 or 4 of the stadium in your deck to properly win the constant back and forth. Don't get me wrong, Battle Coliseum is a welcome addition to Standard, especially for those who play low HP decks. It's just not the one-size-fits-all you might think it is upon first glance. Yet another tool card that looks like something you could put in your butt, Sacred Charm reduces damage from your opponent's Pokemon that have any abilities by 30. So it's similar to Rigid Band, except anyone can use it, their active just has to have an ability. This is one of those cards that no one really cares about when it's announced, but depending on how the meta shakes out, a copy or two will sneak into tournament-winning lists. Just keep in mind that we live in a world where Raging Bolt, Dragapult, Screamtail, and Drifloon are all major threats, yet none of them have an ability. And Defiance Vest and Rock Chestplate haven't exactly been stalwarts of Standard. One saving grace for Phantasmal Flames could be the single prize Pokemon.
Yeah! So wait lang, I'm in. Yes! Woohoo! Nakakalaro ako. Nakakalaro ako. Yay! My gosh. Okay, so yeah, I mean, pero kasi if you think about it, Dragapult has a lot of ways to circumvent that.
Who's absolutely insane, able to accelerate a Darkness Energy from deck to a bench Darkness Pokemon at the cost of placing 2 damage counters on it. This pairs extremely well with the upcoming Mega Gengar and Mega Sharpedo, even if I don't particularly believe in Daddy Shark. But just like Princess Leia, there is another. Provided you have a Dark-type Pokemon EX in play, Viper does 240 damage for 3 Darkness. So that could be Mega Gengar to deny them a prize, Pecharunt for switching, Roaring Moon for one-hit KOs, or Pheasantipity for card draw. And for those keeping track, Viper does more damage than Mega Lopunny, all while giving up 1 prize versus 3. Yeah, it's still sunny outside, so I'm throwing shade. Ultimately, Viper can be the focus of a deck with Toxtricity, or it can be an insane backup attack hitting harder than multiple different Megas. Speaking of hitting harder than Megas, we have Reshiram. At the cost of punching itself in the face for 60, the Pokemon that looks like a really angry Furfrou does 240 damage for 4 fire energy. For comparison, the new Darmanitan requires 5 energy to hit that number, and it's a stage 1. But Pilot, I hear you say, how can we get 4 energy on this little fella when you said in your infinite wisdom that Emboar sucks? Well, my caked up subscriber, that's where Oricorio EX comes in. If you have a Fire-type Mega Evolution Pokemon EX in play, you can accelerate as much fire energy from hand onto a bench fire Pokemon as you want. Since Mega Charizard has a lot of potential, it's the perfect partner. You can send Darmanitan and its 3 evolutions Hot Droppings packing, running 1 copy of Reshiram instead, who can one-shot Raging Bolt and almost every other 2-prize basic. Not to mention KOing Golden Go and Mega Venusaur through weakness. Sticking with fire types who deal big damage, we have Cerulege. Ignoring the absolutely insane Charcadet art with a great first attack grabbing 2 energy, Cerulege does 220 damage for a single fire energy. However, you do have to discard 4 fire energy from hand. Do you know who loves having fire energy in the discard pile? Cerulege EX. And even when Earthen Vessel rotates in March, we'll still have Fire Breather, which grabs 7 fire from deck. So even if you don't want to include a single prize Cerulege in your EX deck, you can almost turn Mega Man into its own deck with Brave Bangle. Of course, boring players will just include it with Golden Go for the Mirror and Grass matchups, but that still means it's highly playable. What's that? You think Mega Venusaur is being left out from this love affair like the first person to finish at an orgy? Genesect is a great addition to the whole Venusaur Ogerpon Meganium deck, giving you a bench sniper. Ogerpon accelerates energy into play, Venusaur moves it around, and Meganium doubles it. Now you can load up Genesect, who deals 20 damage times the number of grass energy attached to it to one of your opponent's Pokemon. You'll need 5 physical grass energy on Genesect, which turns into 10 to deal 200 damage. But a potentially great snipe attack is another weapon in Venusaur's arsenal. The only thing For the Win loves more than fish and chips is a hit and run deck. And Low Kicks might just fill that emptiness inside him that food cannot satiate. For an Ignition Energy, Low Kicks does 150 damage and shuffles itself, plus all attached cards, including the Ignition Energy back into the deck. Then you promote something like Mimikyu or Iron Thorns EX, potentially blocking them from doing anything. What Low Kicks has going for it is access to Force to Vitality.
Okay.
So even if you shuffle in
Okay na,
last Low
okay na.
Kicks, you can get another one on the field fairly easily. The high damage output and 1 energy attachment also makes this better than Excelgor. Add in a Brave Bangle and that's 180 damage every turn, 2-shotting pretty much everything except Mega Venusaur. Unfortunately, Nimble kinda sucks. You have 40 or 50 hit point options, none of them with good attacks or abilities. Still, I can guarantee you'll see For the Win make a video on this by year's end. There's some bullcrap going around with the new Paldean Tauros. The original translation said it does 40 damage for each damage counter on all your Pokemon with Tauros in their name and play. That would make it one of the greatest cards ever printed. However, the true translation states, this attack does 40 damage for each of your Pokemon with Tauros in their name and play that has any damage counters on them. This means it's basically Team Rocket's Wheezing, except every Tauros needs to have a damage counter on it. That's still not bad, it just takes it from goated territory to trust your pilot will show me how this can win, but when I play it, it'll always lose territory. Since it can be any Pokemon with Tauros in its name, Paldean and Cantonian Tauros apply, giving you 8 potential Tauros in one deck. Aside from an Area 0 build with a Terra and maybe a Mulga, you're going to have to go with Risky Ruins. Put a Tauros in play, it gets 2 damage counters. Have a full field, that's 240 damage for a single fighting. Add Brave Bangle, that's 270. Run Premium Power Pro, now Tauros can one-shot Megas. It's a lot of work, but I did win games with Wheezing, and this seems like a better version of that. The only thing Little Dark Fury loves more than Poutine is a Paralysis deck. And the new Palmot has a lot of potential.
Grabe naman to si ano? Grabe naman to si Tracer Pilot. Anyway, guys, I think that's pretty much it for tonight. Before we end the stream, again, I'd like to thank the sponsor, QAT, for helping out and reviving the stream. Watch out for further announcements as well. We'll see you on Wednesday at 11 p.m. Pero I'm not sure anymore kung 11 yun or later. Magka-announce na lang ako this coming Wednesday what time exactly will I be able to stream. Kasi if the check-in time is going to start at 6 and we are at 64, how many susunod yun? 464. 6 rounds. So that's 25 minutes. So 30 na. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. So 4 hours. Around 4 hours. 4 hours. So mga 10, ideally matatapos siya. So let's see. Let's see on Wednesday. I'm going to announce what time I'm going to go live. If it's going to be moved from 11. But yeah, pretty much there. Okay guys, that's it for me. See you and see you.